As we continued our journey north through the Golden Outback of Western Australia, we found ourselves without a plan, which, for us, is no real surprise. So, we decided to take a chance on a place that we'd only heard a little bit about. On the way to this particular free camp, we passed by a series of massive salt lakes, and after pulling over to make sure that they were really salt lakes,
Quartz.
shards of salt.
Oh.
That's salt.
There you go. That's cool. Don't need it. Well, you can.
Yeah, that's all salt.
There you go.
We pushed on, still unsure of what to expect when we arrived. But once we did, we were so glad that we'd made the effort to get out here. Well, the original plan was not to pull into here for camp. We weren't even going to come into here at all.
We've kind of forgot this was here.
We did. So this is Lake Ballard,
Yes.
And it's famous for being an absolutely massive salt lake, but also because there is a sculpture trail out here. There's 51 sculptures of people scattered around out in the lake. So we're going to, at some point, have a little bit of a walk around or something like that out there and take a look at them. Our original goal was to get to Gwalia today, out near Leonora, but we'll leave that for another day.
There might be a couple of nights yet.
We
Who
might
knows?
be, because this is an absolute cracker of a spot. The only downfall at the moment is there's very, very sticky flies.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But yeah, no, we're just going to quickly get the van set up and all that sort of thing, and then, yeah, just take a little bit of a look around. But I think there's a big hill just sort of out in the middle.
Mound?
That one.
Yeah.
That one. So we're going to head up there for sunset tonight, I reckon, but maybe, we'll see.
Maybe. And then sunrise.
Oh,
Because why not?
Pushing it, mate, pushing it.
By the time we finished setting up the van, the light was already starting to shift, so we made our way up to the hill to catch the sunset. Sunset and sunrise are definitely the best times to take in this place. The soft light brings out the colours in the salt and adds this surreal glow to the lake and the sculptures. From up top, we could see just how far the sculptures were spread, and later, flying the drone gave us an entirely different perspective. You can actually see patterns etched into the salt, trails left by people weaving their way across the lake, trying to find them all. It was the perfect way to end the day, and left us keen to explore it properly in the morning. We got up early the next morning to finally explore the lake properly.
After seeing it from the hill at sunset, we couldn't wait to get out there and have a look around. It's such a beautiful and strange place.
There are 51 sculptures spread out across the lake, and they are part of a massive art installation by a British artist, Anthony Gormley.
It's called Inside Australia, and it was created back in 2003 for the Perth International Arts Festival. Gormley actually scanned people from the nearby town of Menzies to create each and every sculpture.
Then he kind of stripped them back using digital morphometry, so you end up with really stretched out, abstract versions of each person. And they're spaced out across 10 square kilometres around the Salt Lake, so you're not just walking to the next one, you're kind of wandering through this weird, quiet landscape.
They look simple at first, but when you're standing next to one, they feel kind of otherworldly, like they've just emerged out of the lake.
We didn't try to see all 51 sculptures, but the ones we did find were pretty incredible. It's one of those places that feels like it shouldn't exist, but you're so glad it does.
Well, that was a really cool way to start the day.
It was.
I think we just did a couple of Ks around the lake and had a look at maybe 10 of them in total.
If we were lucky, 10 from a distance.
Yeah. There's like 51 of them all up, scattered over a 10-kilometre square area. So I'm not going to say we're never going to see all of them, but we're not. You might. If you want to come out and do that much walking, go for it.
I might.
You might. Weirdo. But yeah, no, we're just going to head back to the van now, have a coffee. Haven't had my morning coffee yet, so get that into. It is a tragedy. It is. I'm surprised I'm up and about without my coffee.
Very true.
So we'll go do that and figure out what we're doing for the rest of the day.
Yep.
All right, well, we've made up our mind. We are going to head out from here today.
We are.
Not because it's not a great spot. It is fantastic out here. The stars are unreal. The sculptures are quite strange.
The flies are next level.
The flies are absolutely next level. So that's one of the reasons why we are going to head on off. So had some breakfast. I had a coffee. Jess actually went for another walk and tried to track down as many of these sculptures as she could. And you found?
I think I did 21, but the further I went, the less frequent they were together, so I had to walk further to the next sculpture.
Yep.
So I ended up walking like 2 kilometers out from the campground. So it was, a long way to only find, I think it was 21 sculptures. I took photos of each one.
Of 51, you've still got another 30 to find.
Yes. And I know there's more on the other side of the lake, so yeah.
But no, really, really cool. Definitely worth coming out here. Awesome free camp. They've got a dump point, they've got toilets, drop toilets, all that sort of thing. So definitely recommend it. Now, the other thing I want to touch on is Jess is actually in the driver's seat today. So she's perfectly capable of driving and towing the van and all that sort of thing. But I'm a firm believer that if you've got 2 people traveling, especially remote traveling, if something were to go wrong with me, Jess needs to be able to feel confident enough to tow and drive and get out of here. So she just jumps in every now and again, has a go, has a tow, keeps her skills up to date, because we just feel it's, something that's of vital importance is both parties need to be comfortable behind the wheel. So, Right, that said, we're going to head out 50 Ks back out to Menzies. It is a beautiful, freshly sealed road, so there's no dramas there. And then we're going to chase out a couple of ghost towns today, I believe.
I think so. We'll see how many we get through.
We might only get to 1, who knows.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Alrighty, we've pulled into Niagara Dam, which is not Niagara Falls in America.
No, it definitely is not.
Nowhere near as much water as that, but it is quite strange being out here in the middle of nowhere and there being a dam that does have water in it.
We haven't done any research, so we don't know why or how or what or when.
Yeah, we will get into the information of that and obviously let you guys know. But yeah, it's really quite strange. It's just rock everywhere and then just a dam full of water. Damn.
Yeah.
But you can actually stay out here for free. It is a free camp. There are shelters and barbecues and bins, and apparently there's a dump point back down on the other side down there. We don't need it, but apparently it's there. So we're going to pull up here for the day. It means we've done all of 100 and a bit Ks today, which is nothing, but
If that even.
If that. We're never in a rush. So we're just going to pull up here, have a bite to eat, have some lunch and chill out for the Arvo, but we'll take you guys for a little walk around.
Yep.
We're already on the around the dam walk.
Yep.
I think it's called.
I think that one's, I think it's about 1,200 metres. And then there's also one called the Breakaways, which is 1,600 metres. You didn't read that one.
I didn't read that one.
No.
So we've got a couple of walks to do around here, but otherwise, yeah, we'll show you guys around. As for where we're sitting at the moment, it's quite literally just up over the top of that hill. Don't know if that's where we're going to camp or not, but it is a designated area. So
yeah,
see what happens.
We'll see.
When we filmed this, as you know, we had no idea what the story behind Niagara Dam actually was.
But since then, we have done some digging, and it turns out there is a fair amount of history tied to this place.
It was built way back in 1897 during the gold rush to provide water for the steam trains running between Kalgoorlie and Menzies.
Getting it built wasn't easy either. They had to cart in huge amounts of cement from Kookynie, which is over 200 kilometres away, but they managed to do it with camel trains. Apparently, around 400 camels were used during the construction.
And after all that, it didn't really work out. The dam never filled properly due to low rainfall, and not long after, they found a reliable underground water supply in Kookynie anyway.
So it kind of became redundant, but the structure is still impressive, with the dam wall being over 200 metres long and about 18 metres high.
These days, it's just a peaceful little spot to stop and camp, with a couple of walking trails if you're feeling adventurous.
So we moved the van from where we'd originally pulled up just into this other little section here. It's just a little bit of a better view, so smack bang straight out over the water and that. And honestly, this is a pretty cracker of a free camp.
Yeah.
Like, there's a dump point, there's toilets, there's shelters, there's barbecues, there's all that sort of stuff.
Bins.
And, you know, you're out in the middle of nowhere and WA's put all this stuff on. So, yeah, pretty cool spot to just kind of pull up for the night. We haven't done a huge amount this afternoon. Jess did a workout and I've just been doing some stuff on the computer. Went for a quick little walk, didn't take any footage, sorry.
It was more of a recce.
Yeah, it was a bit more of a recce, so we'll go back out again tomorrow morning and do that same trail as well as the other trail that's out here and have a bit of a look around and learn a bit more about the history of this place. But I think we're just going to smack into some dinner and that's about it.
What are you cooking?
I have no idea.
No, I'll cook, it's okay.
What are you cooking?
Probably meatballs.
All right, we'll take it. See you in the morning.
Bye.
We decided to start the morning with the Breakaway Trail, a short 1.6 kilometre loop that begins right near Niagara Dam. The trail takes you up along the edge of a breakaway, which is a naturally eroded gully, providing you stunning views across the open landscape. From there, the trail loops down into a dry creek bed before winding back to the dam. It's an easy walk, maybe 30 to 40 minutes, and a peaceful way to start the day.
Well, with the sunrise like that and a beautiful morning walk, it doesn't get much better.
No, it was a pretty good morning.
Yeah, cracker of a campsite, that one. Jess picked that out yesterday, just at a complete random, called Niagara Dam. Beautiful spot, couple of walks to do. Yeah, just great scenery and all that sort of gear.
Bins, toilets, dump point, you name it.
Yeah, Yeah, it actually has all the things that you'd need, so it's quite handy. This place here is where we went to get to yesterday. Jess is going to pronounce it for us.
I call it Kookynie, but it could be Kookynie or Kookynie.
We don't know. It's listed as a living ghost town. So, as is a lot of the places out through the goldfields here, it existed back in the 1890s because of all the gold rush and all that sort of thing. Whereas now, I think there's only about 13 permanent residents out here. I believe. So we're just going to take a little bit of a look around, read up on some of the information here, and see what there is to see.
Yeah,
should be interesting.
We might not be here for long, but then we may be. Who knows?
Yeah. But that's all part of the adventure, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We kicked off our visit to Kookynie with a leisurely drive through the town's dusty streets, followed by a stroll among the remnants of its bustling past. Once a thriving gold rush hub in the early 1900s, Kookynie boasted a population of over 3,500 residents. These days, only a few locals remain, but the town still has plenty of stories to tell. From crumbling stone buildings to old shops that have been partially restored, it's full of character. The town's growth was fueled by nearby gold discoveries, and the railway station, established during the boom, became a vital link. At its peak, up to 4 trains a day arrived from Kalgoorlie, moving people, mail and supplies through the outback. As we explored, we were lucky enough to see a train roll through the old station, a rare moment that really brought Kookynie's history to life.
She looks a bit closed.
Yeah, unfortunately it doesn't open till 4 o'clock, I believe, so that's a little bit upsetting, but cool old pub though.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Well and truly over 100 years old and still ticking, so I was hoping to see the horse that comes through here as well, but
we'll see.
And just when we thought everything was shut up, we found ourselves at the Grand Hotel right as it opened. And if you know anything about Allen and having a beer at an old pub, we had to stop in. Built in 1902, the hotel is a proud reminder of Kookynie's vibrant past. The famous pub horse, Willie, wasn't around, but the cold beer and warm welcome made for a proper outback experience.
we took the gamble because we noticed a note on the front door that said that the pub was open from 12 till 2 and 4 till 6. So we thought we'd hang around for a little bit. And yep, sure enough, Margaret, she'd be in her late 80s, came along and opened up the door, and we got to have a look around the pub and have a cheeky little beer and whatnot.
Midday beer.
Yeah.
Why not?
Beautiful old pub.
It is beautiful. Old pub. A little bit run down, but it is beautiful, and it has lots of knickknacks and lots of photos and lots of history. So well worth stopping in, having a look, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And Margaret's a wealth of knowledge around the area, so.
And she's just a lovely lady in general. So. Yeah. But the pub's actually up for sale if anybody wants to come and buy a outback pub in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, cracking little town, cool spot. We're going to head off to Leonora now. Yes. 2 ways you can go there. One is back out in the bitumen, which is like a huge detour around. But otherwise there is a dirt road that you can take just out this side of town this way. So we're just going to jump out there and head out to Leonora and go from there.
See how the road condition is.
Yeah. Yep. So we'll see what happens.
Let's do it.
As we headed off, I thought we were making our way out to Leonora. But as it turns out, and Jess let me know, I was completely wrong. I kept on saying that we were going to Leonora, and
we really were never going to Leonora, ever. Your directions just got a bit out of whack.
Also, it turns out the roads to our destination definitely weren't what I was expecting either. But if you want to find out what actually happened and where we ended up, you're going to have to wait till next week. So make sure to subscribe, give the video a like, leave a comment, and we'll catch you in the next one. Where are we? Hi.
Hi. Excuse me. It has the 2 walks, the Round the Dam walk, which is about 1,100 kilometres, 1,100 metres.
Well.
Sorry, there's a fly on my nose.
I've got about 20.